All right, family. Let me take you straight into the storm. In today's world, the image of African leadership often comes with certain stereotypes: luxury cars, palatial homes, custom suits, and private jets. Many citizens feel that their leaders are distant from the daily struggles of ordinary people. But in Burkina Faso, a 36-year-old president is breaking that mold. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the world's youngest head of state, has chosen humility and service over wealth and extravagance. His style and substance recall the legendary Thomas Sankara. Yet his vision is firmly rooted in the present challenges of the 21st century. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into Captain Ibrahim Traoré's rise to power, his unique approach to leadership, his rejection of luxury, his bold reforms, and his growing influence on the African continent. Stay tuned until the end, because his story may just reshape how we think about governance, sovereignty, and the future of Africa. But before we continue, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming stories. Breaking the mold of African leadership for decades. Many African heads of state have equated wealth with authority. Extravagant lifestyles have been presented as symbols of power. Citizens see convoys of luxury, cars racing past them while they struggle with basic needs. Expensive foreign suits and private jets become the norm, while hospitals and schools remain underfunded. This disconnect has eroded trust in leadership across the continent. Yet in the middle of this trend, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has taken a radically different path. From the very beginning of his presidency, he rejected the notion that respect must be bought with luxury. Instead, he embraced modesty, aligning himself closely with the realities of the ordinary Burkinabe citizen. His decision to live simply, reduce his own salary, and refuse the trappings of luxury sends a powerful message. In many ways, his approach mirrors that of the late Thomas Sankara, who famously rode a bicycle and drove a modest car during his presidency in the 80s. Symbolism matters in politics. Leaders are not only judged by policies but also by how they live. When Traoré attends summits, wearing his military uniform and red beret instead of tailored suits, he communicates something larger than fashion. He shows that he is still a soldier at heart, a servant of his people, not a ruler above them. At the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit in St. Petersburg, his appearance drew global attention. While other African leaders wore expensive Western suits, Captain Ibrahim Traoré stood tall in combat gear, tactical gloves, and a red beret. He did not blend in with the political elite, he stood apart as a man of the people. His rejection of the presidential salary, choosing instead to keep the modest pay of a military captain, adds even more weight to his message. For many Burkinabe citizens, this is more than a gesture. It is proof that he is putting service before self-interest. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's rise was dramatic, but not entirely unexpected to those who served with him. His military career began in the 2010s, gaining momentum when he was deployed to Mali in 2014 as part of the United Nations peacekeeping mission, MINUSMA. There, at only 26 years old, he displayed courage under fire during a fierce militant attack in northern Timbuktu. His resilience earned him respect among peers. Between 2019 and 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré became deeply involved in Burkina Faso's counterinsurgency operations. The country was facing a relentless wave of extremist violence, destabilizing entire regions and displacing thousands. By 2020, he was promoted to the rank of captain, a testament to his leadership on the battlefield. The turning point came in September 2022. Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba, who himself had come to power via a coup earlier that year, was struggling to address the worsening security crisis. Discontent was rising, both within the army and among citizens. Traoré, at just 34 years old, led a group of young officers in a coup that ousted Damiba. On October 1, 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traoré addressed the nation in a televised speech. He emphasized that the move was not born out of personal ambition, but necessity. Burkina Faso, he argued, could not continue down a path of insecurity and hopelessness. His words struck a chord with many who felt abandoned by previous leadership. The age factor and generational shift when Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power. He became the world's youngest head of state, At only 34, he was 7 years younger than Damiba and ranked lower in the French-style military hierarchy. Some observers questioned whether such a young leader could handle the immense challenges ahead. But Captain Ibrahim Traoré himself acknowledged these doubts head-on. Speaking to government officials shortly after the transition, he admitted that age was not on his side, but insisted that Burkina Faso's crisis demanded action, not hesitation. His humility and candor helped disarm critics who accused him of being power-hungry. This generational shift is symbolic. Many African nations are led by presidents in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, with a median age of under 20. Africa is the youngest continent in the world. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership resonates with millions of young Africans who see in him a reflection of themselves, bold, unafraid, and determined to rewrite the future. A stand at the Russia-Africa Summit. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's defining international moments came at the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit. Beyond his attire, his speech electrified audiences. He openly criticized African leaders who prioritize foreign approval over their citizens' needs. He denounced the tendency of some leaders to serve as proxies for external powers while neglecting sovereignty. Captain Ibrahim Traoré declared that Africa must stop acting like a puppet and begin charting its own destiny. He stressed that dependency on foreign aid without genuine reform only traps nations in cycles of poverty. His message was not just aimed at Western powers, it was also a challenge to African leaders themselves to take responsibility. This boldness earned him comparisons to Sankara once again. But unlike Sankara's era in the 1980s, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is operating in a far more globalized and interconnected world, where his words instantly reverberate across social media and international news. During the same summit, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced that Moscow would send free grain to Africa. While many leaders expressed gratitude, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's response stood out. He thanked Russia but emphasized that Africa must learn to feed itself. He argued that food sovereignty is the foundation of independence. If a nation relies on others for basic survival, it cannot claim to be truly sovereign. He urged African leaders to return to the next summit having made concrete progress in achieving food security. This echoes Thomas Sankara's philosophy in the 1980s, when Burkina Faso dramatically boosted local food production and promoted self-sufficiency. Traoré is reviving this vision in a modern context, where food shortages and dependency remain critical issues. Public support and extended leadership. In May 2024, Burkina Faso revised its national charter, extending the transitional government's mandate by up to 5 years. The decision followed nationwide consultations involving the military, civil society, and transitional lawmakers. What made headlines, however, was the reaction of ordinary citizens. Outside the conference hall in Ouagadougou, crowds of young people gathered, chanting for Captain Ibrahim Traoré to remain in power not just for 5 years, but for 10. Their passion reflected the strong trust many Burkinabe place in his leadership, even as others remain cautious. Unlike many African leaders who cling to power against public will, Captain Ibrahim Traoré finds himself being asked to stay longer. This unusual dynamic illustrates how deeply his message resonates with citizens hungry for change. Beyond symbolism, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has taken tangible steps to strengthen Burkina Faso's economy. One of his first major initiatives was to establish a national gold refinery. Despite being a significant gold producer, Burkina Faso previously exported unrefined gold abroad, losing potential revenue and jobs. The refinery project aims to reverse this trend, keeping more wealth within the country. He also introduced tax cuts to ease burdens on businesses and citizens, alongside new opportunities for young entrepreneurs to access capital. His government has partnered with the private sector to promote innovation and self-reliance. Another bold step was the introduction of popular shareholding, instead of allowing state enterprises to be controlled by foreign investors or political elites. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government offered shares directly to citizens. The sale of 20% of the national telecommunications company raised $60 million, which was reinvested into infrastructure. To set an example of fiscal discipline, Captain Ibrahim Traoré cut the salaries of all ministers and government officials by 20%. His refusal of a presidential salary further reinforced his commitment to service. Unlike many leaders who see protests as threats, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has openly supported citizens' right to demonstrate even against his own administration. He has described himself not as a ruler but as a public servant, entrusted with safeguarding the country's future. This approach stands in stark contrast to authoritarian tendencies seen in parts of Africa, where protests are often met with violent crackdowns. By encouraging peaceful dissent, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is cultivating a political culture rooted in accountability. While much is known about his leadership, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has kept his personal life largely private. There is little confirmed information about his family or romantic relationships. This discretion helps him maintain focus on governance, avoiding the distractions of media speculation. Even his net worth remains undisclosed. Unlike leaders whose fortunes are openly flaunted, Traoré projects an image of modesty and discipline. For many citizens, this lack of personal scandal enhances his credibility. Despite his achievements, Captain Ibrahim Traoré's journey is far from easy. Burkina Faso continues to face serious challenges, including ongoing insecurity from extremist groups, economic fragility, and pressure from international actors. His rejection of traditional alliances has earned him admiration but also criticism. Some warn that distancing from powerful foreign partners could isolate Burkina Faso economically. Others argue that his strong stance against Western influence may invite external pressure. Domestically, not all citizens agree with the extension of military rule. While many support him, others remain cautious about concentrating power in the hands of a young leader. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is the inspiration it offers to Africa's youth. In a continent where millions feel excluded from politics, his rise shows that young people can lead, reform, and reshape the future. He represents a shift from leaders who cling to outdated systems to a new generation unafraid to challenge convention. His blend of humility, boldness, and patriotism makes him a figure to watch not just in Burkina Faso, but across Africa. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is more than a political figure. He is a symbol of a new kind of leadership. By rejecting luxury, embracing modesty, and prioritizing sovereignty, he has set himself apart from many of his contemporaries. His reforms in economics, his calls for food security, and his emphasis on dignity and accountability are reshaping Burkina Faso's path. The road ahead is uncertain and filled with challenges. Yet Traoré's story already demonstrates that leadership rooted in service, not self-enrichment, can capture the imagination of a nation. What do you think about Ibrahim Traoré's style of leadership? Is he a model for Africa's future? Or will the challenges prove too great? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories on African leadership and transformation through African Lights.